Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I am back for the week. Hope you had a great weekend. And there has been some crazy stuff that happened over the weekend that I will cover today. I may have one extra video today just because just to kind of cover exactly what's all going on throughout the weekend. But we'll see. So, what we have here today is that we have Kamala Harris being a racist. Now, this is not really a surprise, considering we know this already, but she really comes out and says it today. A couple of days ago. And, quite honestly, it's disgusting. And, I guess I'm just going to show it to you guys myself. Here. Take a look.
Has been doing to address the climate crisis in the States.
I'm going to unpack that question.
I'm going to ask you like packed and loaded questions because I've been doing.
The crisis is real and the clock is ticking, and the urgency with which we must act is without any question. And the way that we think of it and the way I think of it is both in terms of the human toll, and I know we are all thinking about the families in Florida, in Puerto Rico, with Fiona, and what we need to do to help them in terms of an immediate response and aid, but also what we need to do to help restore communities and build communities back up in a way that they can be resilient, not to mention adapt to these extreme weather conditions, which are part of the future. On the point that you made about disparities, when I was district attorney of San Francisco, I was elected in 2003. I started one of the first environmental justice units of any DA's office in the country focused on this issue, and in particular on the disparities, as you have described rightly, which is that it is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
Absolutely disgusting. So what you're saying is you would take minority groups, or I guess you would call people of color, even I really just don't like that word in general, is to take that and put them on a higher list of people to take care of, to protect, and fix their lives over the white people. Absolutely disgusting. You're a disgusting human being, and I want you out of office immediately is what I want. The fact that you actually come out and say this type of disgustingness is beyond me. You people are what we would call the epitome of the devil. We do not treat people based on equity, and we do not treat people on the color of their skin or what background they came from. We treat them regardless of their political affiliation or where they have been, because they're people. I'm telling you right now that every last one of those people, regardless of being black, Mexican, Asian, or white, especially white, are affected by this at the same time. We do not prioritize people based on their skin or their background or any of that matter, because they all matter. This is way you guys are just your own racism is actively showing. It's disgusting that you have to come out and say this consistently over and over again. It's like we all knew these people were this piece of garbage, like these people were not great, but now they're just actively saying this vile shit, and it's not okay. Equity is garbage. It really is garbage. To treat people better than others, or to think that somebody needs a handout because they're below is ridiculous. Don't need this equity BS. Everybody starts from the beginning, and everybody has a bad role to play. Some white people have worse lives than blacks. Some blacks have worse lives than whites. Some Asians have worse lives than whites, and then some Asians don't have worse lives than whites, and vice versa for blacks. It doesn't matter. Everybody has some type of difficult outcome. Some are better than others. Some are not. Some are more privileged than others. However, that does not mean we treat these people with a certain level of class that the others don't get treated for. Rich people as well. Despite the fact that, maybe because they're just rich, does not necessarily mean that they should be excluded from being saved or helped. It's just asinine to think that way. Not to prioritize somebody over else. Now, we could probably say children, because children maybe need to be prioritized over somebody else. And in some cases, I think even the families would probably prefer their child to be saved over themselves, because that's just normal human instinct. We want our children to live longer than we do. That is honestly normal. But we don't just treat people based on the color of their skin, you vile woman, Kamala Harris. I don't like you. And I'll continue to not liking you. I don't like racists. And you are one of them. There's a reason why nobody likes you, Kamala, and this is one of the reasons. And the mere fact that you want to come out and say this to a group of people that just went through tragedy, where people have died, their families have died, you're a vile human being indeed, and you deserve every bit of karma that comes to you. Every last bit. Now, I know there might be some Democrats that may have been affected by this storm, by this Hurricane Ian, and that's not good. That's bad. I don't want people to be hurt just because of political affiliation or whatever. They should be able to speak their mind freely, whichever they so desire, without having to be, attacked for it, for that matter, or, God forbid, wish death upon them, which, by the way, the left does. They are actually gloating and glorifying over the death of the Floridians because, they voted because they like DeSantis and they like Trump. So, because of that, they deserve death. Absolutely vile. The worst thing is that these people have to make it political every single freaking time. It doesn't have to be just where it's just a simple tragedy, and people have to go, and they can just be like, okay, we need to try our best to help these people, try to get emergency aid as best as possible, which I think DeSantis is doing, have the federal government actually try to come in and help them, regardless of what affiliation they're part of or what have you. But no, instead of they have to make it political, they have to talk about climate change, they have to talk about, how racism this, and it's just completely, absolutely disgusting. Remember, Democrats that are potentially watching this, know what they're doing, knowing what they're saying about you, potentially even your family. Because I know there are Democrats that are black. I know there's Democrats that are white as well. This is what she's talking about, you guys. She's actively saying this. She says you're second-rate citizens compared to the black people. And to black people, do you really want to accept this? Do you want to really think that you are better than the white people? Because if you do, then you're a racist. Really think about who you're voting for, because these are the type of vile people that get in office and they treat you like a second-rate human being. Guess people get what they deserve. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care.